A sweet, cotton candy-colored amusement park hides unexpectedly dark secrets. Welcome to Otome Gaming. This is a review of Genso Manège for both the Nintendo Switch and Steam. Set during an undisclosed time period in a historically reimagined France, Genso Manège, which translates to Fantasy Carousel for those of you who are interested, opens with an unexpectedly tense scene. Shadowed figures are having a heated argument in front of a beautiful carousel that results in a gunshot being fired. A man shouts in desperation for Emma to open her eyes. This, of course, is when our main protagonist, Emma, awakens from her now quickly fading dream. The vibes quickly shift to that of a calm, beautiful sunny morning as we are introduced to Emma and her living situation. Our pink-haired protagonist, Emma, is 17 years old, living in a small French town called Blancburg, with a family known as the Vincents, which consists of Arnaud, his mother Alice, and Daniel, the absent father who's never around because he works in Paris. Having been orphaned at the age of 10, Emma has been with the Vincents for the past 7 years of her life. We also learn that Emma has no memory of the tragic events that led to her becoming an orphan, and that she is secretly a witch who has lost her powers. Magic is something that is feared and persecuted in this world, so it's a secret that Emma has to be careful is never found out by others. So, obviously, she gets clocked as a witch right away while taking a day trip to an exciting traveling amusement park that's just arrived in town. Luckily, though, the charming man that can tell she's secretly a witch is the amusement park's director, Hugo, and he would like to recruit Emma and her magic powers to help the park. Because the traveling amusement park is actually cursed, keeping the majority of its workers chained to it, unable to escape more than a few feet from the park's entrance. Emma is soon convinced to join the traveling park with the condition that she only works there until it's time for the park to move on to the next town. Thus starts the beginning of Emma's magical training and her romance-filled journey to unlock the park's hidden secrets. There are 6 love interests in Genso Manège. Crier, the park's juggling master and the only staff member other than Emma who can leave the park freely. When he's not performing, he's a big grump that hides his embarrassment behind a loud mouth. Lusol, the reclusive park mechanic, he's a man of few words and even fewer appearances. Lusol is a shut-in with an intense dislike of magic, which puts him at odds with Emma and Hugo's goal to free the park. Serge, the director's right-hand man and stoic accountant. Serge's cold and dry demeanor intimidates many, but he's as harsh on himself as he is on others. Leon, the park's adorable mascot, Leon is calm, quiet, and beloved by the children who visit the park. Almost no one knows what he looks like under his rabbit costume as he never takes it off. Hugo, the park's charming and mysterious director. Hugo treats everyone around him with the same respectful demeanor, making his true feelings and intentions hard to read. Arnaud, Emma's childhood friend and local reporter. Arnaud likes to fuss over Emma and is suspicious of Hugo and the amusement park. Genso Manège consists of a prologue, 3 common route chapters, and then 4 chapters for each love interest with 2 different endings. The game doesn't lock you out of playing anyone's route first, save for Arnaud, who only unlocks after you play Hugo. However, I would recommend saving Hugo and then Arnaud for last, as these 2 routes are the most lore-heavy. Then there is a final route where everything is tied up with a bit of a happily ever after ending. Genso Manège starts out with a pretty easygoing, soft, comfy vibe to it, introducing you to Emma, the park, and all her potential love interests. It isn't until you start getting into the character routes that you realize there are more serious undertones going on in the game. A lot of the routes became quite sad and even bittersweet in some of their endings, but not in a way that left me soul-crushed, unlike some other games I could mention. 9 RIP. Overall, the game is more character-focused, even with the plot revelations, which means more time for sweet, sugary romance for those of you that are looking for it. However, be warned, because underneath this cotton candy exterior is a thought-provoking tale about life and death. The gameplay in Genso Manège is very straightforward. If you want to raise affection with a character, always pick the second choice. At first, when I was playing the game, I thought, surely not every second choice is the correct choice, but I tested it and it's true. Honestly, I'm not mad at it. It made playing through the game quick and stress-free. Sometimes that's all you want from an Otome game, especially in between games like Color X Malice or Amnesia, where one wrong move can leave the protagonist bleeding out in some random alleyway. There are 2 unique minigames in Genso Manège used to help simulate Emma regaining her magical abilities. It's called the Eve system, or Awakening system, and consists of collecting as many little star icons as you can in 30 seconds. Though technically you can use the joystick for this, it's much easier to use the Switch's or the Steam Deck's touchscreen during this minigame. Then once that part is over, you have a section where you have to click the A button at the correct time while 2 star outlines are overlapping. For those of you who aren't a big fan of repetitive minigames like this, there is an option to skip it entirely after the first time playing it. Skipping the segment will automatically give you a high score, so if you want to read the bad endings in-game, you will have to play through these minigames and purposefully fail them. If you're not a fan of the soft pastel aesthetic, then this game is not for you. I, however, was all for the cotton candy colors, with the only real thing that bothered me being the game's text box. The excessive popping in and out animation and the purple on purple was killing my eyes, and I honestly wondered if I might have to give up reading at one point just because I could feel a headache coming on. Luckily, there are a few options in the game settings to help alleviate some of the reading difficulty, including picking between bordered or shadowed text, and adjusting the text window opacity. It did help, but I think the game could have benefited from some more accessible friendly options. The character sprites were varied, with eye blinking and mouth movement, the backgrounds all had a decent amount of detail, and the background music was unobtrusive and thematic. Our main character Emma also had her own sprite, which is something I love to see in games, so I was very excited about that. The CGs had a nice softness to them and were very pretty. However, the artist had a weird no lips will touch agenda when it came to the kiss scenes, so that was mildly disappointing. Lastly, the voice acting was great, as it usually is in bigger budget Japanese Otome games. The localization I thought was done very well. I did run into a few typos, but they were extremely rare and easy to understand. The game has both English subtitles and an option to switch to the Japanese version, which makes it a great learning tool for those of you who are studying Japanese. However, some of the translations aren't necessarily direct word-for-word translations, so please keep that in mind if you are planning to use the game to study. If you're looking for a game filled with sweet romance but still has some dark plot elements to it, then Genso Manège could be the game for you. The deceiving cotton candy colors might not be for everyone, but with pretty art and great voice acting, Genso Manège is a solid addition to any Otome gamer's library. Otome Gaming gives Genso Manège a final rating of 3.5 out of 5. Genso Manège releases for both Nintendo Switch and Steam on January 31st, 2025. Genso Manège has an ESRB rating of T for teen. For more trigger warning details, please see the official ESRB link in the description.